Hello adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are hitting the road and we are going to go and stock up on a few supplies. Now whenever I'm out and about, I always have a few little tips and tricks that I like to share. So today I thought I would take you guys along with me for a big grocery shop, but also a supply stock up. I have a few things that I need, so I'm going to take you to a few stores that I choose to use in different kinds of communities. Most of these options will be available to you, so I'm hoping that this is helpful. So let's get to it. Okay, something that's available to most every small town in at least the South is a Dollar General. So we're going in here first because there's a couple things in here that I find that are van sized. This is going to be like cleaning supplies and things like that. You can get the smaller sizes here that fit perfectly, and then we're going to take them out of their packaging because we don't need all that. For example, I use Dawn, and you can get it at Dollar General for $1, so definitely a good deal. Now these two items, they usually have discounts on through their app, so I highly recommend if you come into Dollar General to go into their app and look at their coupons that you can clip, because you can usually save like $1 or even $2 on these items right here, and these are the ones that I use. Of course, this is only one of the places that we're going to go today, but I do find that at Dollar General you can get cheaper canned veggies if you need canned veggies. I don't need any today, but that's just kind of a little tip. And again, check out their app, because as you scroll through their app, you'll find all sorts of different discount items based on their coupon system. And all you have to do is literally just click it, and that is like clipping coupons, and then just put in your number at the register and you get those automatic discounts. I have literally saved hundreds of dollars doing this, so definitely stop in here if you see one. See, this is what I was talking about, guys. You can get 2 cans for usually $1 in most of the things. So if you compare this to some of the prices that you'll find at like the Dollar Tree, where most people think they're getting a better deal, you pay $1 a can for most of those. So Dollar General, better deal on canned food like this. Now you kind of have to look around at some of the other things though to kind of play the comparison game, but definitely canned veggies are a win. When I say play the comparison game, I mean that if you're getting certain items, you're going to get a better deal if you go to other stores like even Walmart or Dollar Tree. For example, I personally like to get my pastas at Dollar Tree because they're $1 a box, and it's usually the same size box. So there's that. We're not going to Dollar Tree today, but definitely get your dry goods there. But a lot of these other things we can kind of hit and miss in the Dollar General. But we're not finished yet. We're going to go to another store also, and I'm going to show you some of the things I pick up there. Before we head out of Dollar General, I just have a little fun tidbit that doesn't really apply to how you need to grocery shop or saving money or anything like that. It actually is that they have dupes for Girl Scout cookies that are available year round, and they're really, really good. I've tried them. So if you have a sweet tooth, want a little treat, and can't find one of those little pesky Girl Scouts, go to Dollar General. Yeah. Okay, and just like that, we were in, we're out, and we're off to the next. Now, we were able to save a few dollars today, but if you're looking to save a little bit more while you're shopping, go to Dollar General on Saturdays. Saturday is their big discount day, so if you have lots of different things that you need that add up to over $25, you end up getting $5 additional off. And you can actually scan things right in app to see if you're qualifying for that. Not to mention they have some additional specials that roll out on Saturdays. Now, using this on days like whenever I needed to get toilet paper or all of my laundry stuff plus some groceries, I have saved a lot of money this way. Not to mention, again, Dollar General is in a lot of different areas, so it's a good, valid stop. But the next thing I'm going to show you is what it's like to shop local. Local is important, guys. Local is so important. Now, why is shopping local so important, you might ask? Well, let's go inside and I'll tell you about it. It's pretty windy out here. Now, by shopping local, we have a different kind of set up all together. We have a lot more fresh produce. We also have local brands, and I really love that. So whenever you're in a community, make sure you check out their local grocery store, because that's where you're going to find all of that. But also, especially if you're camping nearby at BLM lands, this shows them that we're coming in and sharing our experience with them and putting money back into their community, which is a big deal. And that way, whenever you go to a place, people don't go, oh, it's the people from the BLM land. Yeah. Now, this doesn't just apply to grocery stores like the one I'm in. You can also go to local farmers markets. I highly recommend them. If you are near fruit stands or produce stands, definitely check those out. You would be surprised how many amazing finds that you can find at those kinds of places. And I frequently stop, especially when I'm going through a place that is known for, like, oh, say apples in Washington, or a place that's known for green chilies in New Mexico. You know, on and on it goes. Now, shopping in this local grocery store today, I was able to snag some Texas sausage, which if you have never had any before, whenever you come through the state, look for the little Made in Texas label. It is a totally different quality than you will find anywhere else. They are definitely putting the spices in there, and it is yummy. So I'm super excited about that. We'll be cooking those up as soon as we hit the road. I have a few plans. We were also able to get a couple of other locally produced items and some items that they don't necessarily always sell at Walmart. That's one thing that I've noticed while I've traveled as much as I have, is consistency from state to state, Walmart to Walmart is not always there. So if that is your sole source of finding things, a lot of times you'll be very disappointed when you go into a store and then you go into another store and can't find the same thing. But there are a few things that I always lean toward Walmart to get, so we're going there next. Now, I recommend if you come to Walmart, coming in with a list. They always get you if you don't have a list. And even with the list, you can see I'm still roaming around, not necessarily in the grocery section, but that is why I come to Walmart, to pick up the things I can't get at the other stores, like this right here, which is actually coming up possibly, if it works out, in an upcoming video. I'm not sure yet where we're going to end up with that, but yeah, I needed it. Now, the nice thing about Walmart is they also have a brand label for Walmart, the Great Value brand, and it's basically the same thing. Now, a lot of you don't know this, but a really long time ago, I had a very short-lived job at a place that manufactured cookies. I know, weird, but I learned that cookies like these that we're by right now actually were manufactured on the same line as name brand cookies. So you have generics and name brands coming down the same assembly line. So that's kind of how the Great Value brand works also. So like these crescent rolls right here are $1.14 versus the other ones, which I've used both and they cook exactly the same, and these are $1 cheaper. So yeah. Okay, I'll show you what I got when I get outside, but it's kind of crazy in here. Okay, we found almost everything on our list, so that's very good, but we're not finished yet. Anytime you go shopping, make sure you get your receipt. You want to get this because this receipt right here actually can allow you to save even more money. And I found this little tip to be something that was very useful while traveling, so I wanted to share it with you guys. One of the things that I do is I always make sure I keep the receipt, bring it out to my van, and when I have a moment, I scan all of my receipts into an app called Fetch. And just for scanning your receipts, you get points. When those points add up to a certain number, you can literally cash them out for Visa cards and Walmart cards and Amazon cards and things like that. And I've been using this for a couple of years now, and I've also gotten my entire family on board, and we've cashed out hundreds of dollars just by literally scanning receipts. Now, the way that this works is super simple. All you do is you just physically take a picture of your receipt, and whenever you do that, it allows it to go into the app, and based on your purchases, it rewards you accordingly. So if you purchase something that is on this long list of their partner brands, you get bonuses, which means more points, which gets you closer to the goal. But I can explain it all day. Let me just show you. Okay, so the way that Fetch works is it's just an app that downloads, and then you can see these are some of the partner brands that they have. So if you purchase from any of these partner brands or several others, you get bonus points. So what you do is after you've downloaded and created yourself an account, you'll just be able to go down here to the little camera, and then you'll go to Snap, and then you'll hover over the receipt that you just got. So this is our Walmart receipt. We'll make sure right here that's nice and flat. And our goal is to get the store total and date that you see on the screen right here to all go green. So if they can all go green, that means we captured everything on the receipt. If the receipt's a little bit long, we might have to go down here, but this one looks good. So after that, we're going to then simply lay it down and hit submit. Now, after it submits, it'll sit here and spin for a minute, tell us that it's uploading. And then after that, in just a second, we'll be able to see how many points that we received from this particular receipt. Now, again, all of the points start to add up. So as you can see right here, there's 29,230 points currently that we have saved. And we just got another 42. Looks like we did get a bonus for the steak rolls that I purchased, and then also the Hidden Valley mix that I purchased. So 42 points. Now altogether, after you're finished, you can go in and you can see the rewards, and you can pick how many points that you have, what kind of rewards. So if we had right now 25,000 points, these are the things that we could qualify for getting. And again, these are gift cards. So these are cash money that you can use in any of these stores, restaurants, places like that. So that can come in handy. And it's all the places that people like to shop. My personal favorite is getting either the Walmart card or getting the Amazon card because I use both of those pretty frequently. But this is kind of how it works. Another thing they do is they actually compensate you if you refer friends with your specific code. So once you sign up, if you have other friends that want to use it also, again, completely free, they can. I personally do have a code that I share with my direct friends and family. However, I don't want you guys to feel like I'm only telling you about this because I benefit from it. So I'm not putting my code in this video on purpose, because that's not what I'm telling you guys. I genuinely love this, and I want you to get out there and see why by trying it yourself. So there's that. Typically, I don't have this many groceries, but I've been at base camp for a little bit over a month, so I had to restock pretty much everything. So that's why we have a lot of stuff today. But since I'm heading out tomorrow, it's time for me to plug in my fridge and get ready. So let's load in all of the groceries. Okay, here we go. Get to plug everything back in. Anytime that I stop and I'm at base camp for any amount of time, I unplug the fridge so it doesn't have to have continuous power. And typically this is whenever I take all of the power stations inside and give them a nice break. So it's time to get started again. So let's start the action. Oh yeah, the fridge is plugged in now, and yep, it's still in good shape. Loving it. Now, I am fortunate in that when Nissan created the NV200, they made it where whenever your van is physically off, you have no pull coming out. So even if I did, for some reason, leave this plugged in, the Jackery would just die and then the refrigerator would turn off because there wouldn't be a way for the Jackery to continue to cycle in more power from my van. But I always do that just in case, even though I'm not really worried about dimples draining the battery, because I do know that it's always better to have a good positive routine. So if for some reason in the weird, wild, crazy future I decide to change out to another vehicle and they don't do that, I'm still safe. Okay, so this is the Alpicool that I have been trying out, and whenever I do unplug it and then plug it back into the Jackery, I always make sure that I go in and hold down this little lock that enables us to change the temperature. And I like to make it about 34 degrees for a good solid riding temperature. And what we're going to do is just let it kind of cool down before we put anything inside of it, and we should be good in about 15 to 20 minutes. This isn't a video about the fridge, but I did want to show you that just so you kind of have an idea as to what's going on here. But while that's happening, I'm going to get everything ready. We have some boxes to break down, and I'm going to show you how I do my dry food bin. If you've been here for a while, you might remember my dry food storage used to be right here, but I have actually moved it to the end of my bed so that I can access it when I have my outdoor kitchen set up. And so all we have to do is just reach under here and pull it out, and it's pretty heavy because it's huge. This is what my dry food bin looks like when it's completely and totally packed to the gills, but I do have a couple of small things to put in here, nothing big. But I wanted to show you a few tips for how I'm able to put so much food in here so I can stay away from a grocery store for a longer amount of time. The reason why I carry so much in my dry bin is because if worse comes to worse and I happen to be somewhere and I get stuck there, I want to make sure that I have food that I can prepare. And so I have some things in here that are kind of like prepping kind of foods, if you can call vanning prepping at the same time. So this is kind of what I do. Remember how at the store I was telling you that I buy my bulk items such as my pastas and things at Dollar Tree? Well, this is what I do with them after I've purchased them. I take them and put them in these reusable Ziploc bags that fully close and have the actual moving zipper. And I put them into portion sizes. So I know that whenever I am wanting a pasta dish, I can grab one of these and that is one portion, as opposed to having a big bulky box. And the more that you use, the less that is actually filled up in that box. So this is very much so a huge space saver, but also really helps me with portioning so that I can go ahead and be ahead of the game. Likewise, I've also taken out my drink mixes and then my coffee from their original packaging, because if I were to just have these things in the bin right here, they would take up the whole bottom of this, because their boxes were quite large considering there's not as much stuff in them. When I can find an Aldi, I pick up things like this, which are actually vacuum sealed already. And again, this is a pasta dish, but it is a vacuum sealed, already kind of squished down to its absolute wit's end, and so it takes up way less room. Again, going along with the same idea, this is a one portion for a skillet dish, and I went ahead and put a packet of seasoning in there so I would know what goes with it. It just makes it easier to be able to grab and go. And so I love being able to do this with pastas. Now, the neat thing about this particular pasta is I actually found it at Winco, and Winco you can buy bulk items. So you can buy as much or as little of something as you want and then put it into these little storage bags, and it's perfect. Now, not everything in my bin obviously is pasta. I just wanted to show you those because they are on top, because they maneuver a little bit easier because of the way they're packaged. But I do have other things, let me show you. Instead of buying huge cans of corn, I will buy single servings, which is far more economical for me in the long run. Yes, they do cost a little bit more up front, but since I don't eat corn all of the time, I think that this is way better because then I don't end up wasting food. Other thing that usually comes in a huge box is pancake mix. So what I did was I went ahead and just put the actual mix in here, but I also have a scoop inside because this is literally the only thing I use the scoop for. So as it gets smaller, I can roll it tighter, and then I have a rubber band to really secure it into a roll. And I also went ahead and put the recipe on here so I don't have to keep up with the little piece that comes on the box. So it makes it just so much easier. Packaged items that usually come in a box, I also just take out of their packaging and write on there what the instructions are. This one, for example, is a Spätzle that came from Aldi, and I just put 2 1/3 cup of water in it and then boil it, and it makes a really, really yummy dish. Same thing, again, just oatmeal. Oatmeal boxes are bulky and awkward, but this is the same thing and much less space. One of the things I really hate is glass, so I try to avoid it when I can, and I noticed that spaghetti sauce is typically always in glass, so I was looking for an alternative. Not to mention, I never can work my way through one whole spaghetti sauce, so I was able to find that Ragu has these little pouches, and they work the same way as a jar. You just pour it into whatever that you're wanting to make, and it is super convenient because this is a much more efficient size for a single person in a van. Of course, with the Road Pro now, I have these little mixes, which means I don't have to carry around a ton of extra flour and all sorts of other stuff. This worked super well, so these take up a very limited amount of space, so I can have some sweets every so often. This is something else that I really like from Winco. They have these little granola mixes, and they're delicious. They have all sorts of different ones, and you can get as much or as little as you want. I ended up picking up a pound, and then I put them into these nice little snack bags. And this is perfect for if I'm going out on a hike, just throwing in my hiking pack, or if I want just a nice snack with some yogurt or something like that while I'm at camp. So that's, again, far less bulky than it would be in its traditional 1 pound form if you were to buy this. For some things you just can't get away from being big and bulky, so I have these chunky soups. They're kind of big, but I did try to go for the more efficient pop top because that makes it easier if I'm stuck somewhere and for some reason my can opener doesn't work. So I tried to find things that are super easy to use, and this one's definitely one of those. Again, it is about having additional things that I can make that have a long shelf life, because there's no way I'm making all this at once. It would take me forever to go through this box probably. But what I try to do is I try to work my way through the products based on what I'm hungry for, and then also leaving myself that nice cushion if I'm in the backcountry, so I don't have to just be darting to the store all the time. Most of the time whenever I'm shopping like I was today, I try to pick up more of my fresh items that can go in the fridge, and that's super helpful. But that's enough of that. We kind of get the gist. We take things out of their boxes, we consolidate them down into plastic bags, but we then reuse those plastic bags so we're not creating all this waste. So I think it's about time for us to go put our food in the fridge. Now again, I've been at base camp for over a month, so I had to start from scratch. So one of the things I needed was butter, and I like that these are a good size for my fridge. Not to mention, I really like the fact that it has a little top on it so I can firmly close it. I've tried stick butter before, but it just does not fare as well in all of the motion of the van. So definitely something that has a top. But also for a little staple, a little sour cream, again with a top. Tops are important. So we have several different items in here that I'm kind of going through. I'm going to keep all of my fresh produce and meat until last because I don't want it to get into the bottom and get kind of squished. So this could take a minute. Now, by shopping local, I was able to get these fresh stuffed mushrooms that look delicious, and I'm really amped about eating these. So I'm going to put these kind of close to the top because these are definitely going to be one of the first meals that I eat while I'm on the road. I am so excited about these. I love stuffed mushrooms, and I actually have a recipe for some also, but I was feeling lazy. So here we go. The groceries are put away. This is just a bunch of bags. I always keep my bags because I use them for trash bags so that I'm not being wasteful. So let's look inside and see what all we have. Okay, here it is. Boom! Yep, it's packed to the gills. One thing I will say that is, again, not related to this video, but kind of give you a heads up. I've been trying out this Alpicool, which is smaller than my Set Power fridge, and I actually really like the sizing of it because I can add the shelf, but when it comes down to a big grocery shopping day, it's like a little puzzle getting everything in there correctly. So that's pretty full, but it's ready for the road. As for me, I have a couple more projects to complete before I actually take off, and then you'll see in my next upload us actually getting on the road. I'm super excited. I hope that the tips that I shared with you guys today have been at least a little bit helpful. Remember, kind of knowing your stores is very important for knowing which ones you're going to get better deals at, and then also knowing your availability. For example, I really love Aldi, I really love Trader Joe's, and I really love Winco, but I know that I'm not going to find them in every place. So I will substitute other kinds of grocery stores, which brings me to my last point. Always sign up for the rewards program. It takes like this long, and by doing that you end up getting discounts. For example, I really like this one specific thing at this one specific store that's only in very specific areas, but I know that by signing up for their rewards I actually can get $2 or $3 off almost every shopping trip when I go there, just for being a member of their rewards, which costs, again, nothing. Same thing with Kroger, Albertsons, Smith's, Fred's. All of those kind of places do have reward programs that literally just ask you to put your email on file, and it's so easy. So I carry around a bunch of little tags and scan away. I save so much money that way. And if you travel as much as I do, you'll want to also. Till next time, guys. Bye.